What's going on? How y'all doing? So, Russell Westbrook, I just saw he passed Oscar Robertson for the career 182 career triple doubles for a career. First, the record was broke first time was like 46 years, something like that. The record has stood. And congratulations to him. I still like Oscar Robertson better, but congratulations to Russell. Russell Westbrook. I have to give it to Max Kellerman. I watched him try to tell it earlier today on First Take, and I think he had the best answer about Russell Westbrook. He is overrated and underrated. And believe me, all great players to an extent fall into that criteria. Because the reason why they all fall into that criteria is because if they get super hyped, let me explain. You can overrate anybody, and they can also be underrated. But the problem with Russell Westbrook, where he's overrated, no, he ain't the second best after Magic Johnson or seeing Isaiah Thomas or Steph Curry, so stop. And I would take Gary Payton over him, and I take Jason Kidd over him as well. So stop. And I take John Stockton over him too. So stop. He might not even. I don't even think he would crack my top 10. And since I've been watching basketball for a long time, if I'm going by a pure point guard, I don't even know if I would like him as much as I did Rod Strickland or Maurice Cheeks. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it 100. You know, I wonder if Nate Tiny Archibald, who back in 1973 led the league in scoring and assists, well, he would have been like playing in today's game with all this. So he's overrated as far as amongst the best of the best because those guys left lasting impressions and they won at the highest level. And I'm sorry, I'm always going to have a problem with a cat who had Kevin Durant for 8 years and got to one finals. I think they lost 2 or 3 other conference finals, but he didn't expound on that. Kevin Durant is arguably the best player when healthy going right now. And Kevin Durant, if you can't win with Kevin Durant, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Then you had Paul George come through you. Paul George got some. The jury's still out if Paul George is really that good or is he stat pattern. We're going to find out what happens in this postseason. Then you have James Harden, who was an early teammate of Russell. They came back last year in Houston, and James Harden looked like he was having misery playing with him. So I'm thinking you done had a few elite players. You also had Carmelo. You had Victor Oladipo. Don't see. I can just throw these names out what Russell Westbrook had, and I seen Russell Westbrook look horrible in the first round beat last few years and what have you. So overrated that, underrated because I gotta give Max Kellerman's due. Like you said, he puts up stats that if you were to put the top 12 guys in the league, and we're gonna go MVP worthy, Russell's still in the argument. He go anywhere and fill a stat sheet up and play alongside anybody. He know how to play the sidekick role, except he ain't Scottie Pippen. That's the problem. If you're gonna be a good sidekick, you got to be a great one. You got to make people think that. I think you could, because see, at least I know with Scottie Pippen, that year when Jordan retired, they were a bad call away from going back to the finals, and Scottie was MVP candidate, and he played really well that year. And they won 57 games. I have not seen Russell Westbrook answer the bell post Kevin Durant in OKC, in Houston, and definitely in Washington. And to see in Washington, Bradley Beal, know they scoring, they put up a lot of numbers. They are below 500 team, and the bottom of the East is kind of stacked, but it ain't that deep when you got two guys in a guard-driven league for the most part that you can't crack 500, that you can't be a real threat. That's the problem I had with him. But he is a stat pad machine. But see, the thing that makes me cringe when I think about him was tonight. I saw that 10th rebound, and the dude for Washington actually flinched. He wanted to get it, but he got out the way. And that's the kind of thing that I have an issue where it looks like he stat pads so much. And, you know, but he's a tough competitor. I mean, he's like a bigger version of Allen Iverson. Just doesn't have the killer instinct as far as leading a team like AI. But he's a stat going machine, I tell you. See, that's the duality about Russell Westbrook. Because deep down, you want to root for the guy because I mean he can put up numbers and he got a lot of energy and he goes hard. And I can respect that. But he just don't win. He don't have. I'll give you an example. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Jimmy Butler doesn't go. He play hard, but he don't go reckless like Russell. But they wins. He's established himself. With Russell, it just seems like sometimes he go through the motions. It's almost like he's playing 21 by himself, but he does it. So I'm gonna say congratulations to him. He's gonna be one of the most polarizing basketball players from a basketball perspective. Not so much from the fans, because anybody who halfway been watching basketball know he ain't no top five all time. But his stats put him there. But he's polarizing within the game, if that makes sense. That's how I look at him. He's polarizing within the concretes of basketball. Depends on what side you come down on. I respect his accomplishment because to be in the same conversation with Oscar Robertson, you'd have done something special. But he don't move me like Oscar Robertson did. Oscar Robinson had one of the most wickedest going to the left. Oscar Robinson was a triple double machine in the air with no 3-point line, hand checking, physicality, not this screen, not this Euro stepping, not this flopping, not all this acting that you got. And he still averaged 26 points and is one of the top 15, 20 scorers ever. So you know right there what's up. But anyway, please give me your thoughts and takes about Russell Westbrook becoming the triple double, all time triple double leader, and how you look at his career. Please free to give me honest thoughts and takes. I welcome that. Please hit the like, subscribe, and I will respond. I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. And I love basketball debates because I always feel that most of these great players or players that hit a certain level, you can say they're overrated, underrated, but he is polarizing within the concept within the game. That's what makes him so complicated and so compelling at the same time. I'm out.